Hi, my name is Karan Springer, the lead sales support engineer with Sony Electronics Professional Display Solutions. Today I'm excited to welcome you to a special edition of Tech Tuesday webinar series, where Team Sony will be guiding you on a comprehensive tour of our booth at InfoComm. During this session, we will be highlighting the diverse range of innovative products and solutions that were showcased, giving you an insider's look at our latest technologies and how they can address your professional needs. I will now hand it over to the team, and I'll see you back here at the end. For today's Q&A portion, we welcome you to write your questions in the chat, and one of our SSC team members will quickly reach out to you. Let's begin our virtual journey with the first section of our booth, the impressive Pro Bravia display wall.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Bonifacio, Director of Business Management for Professional Display Solutions of America of Sony Electronics. We're here today at InfoComm 2025 in Orlando, and behind me is our Bravia lineup wall. We have 4 different series starting here from my right and going around behind me, from our EZ20 through the BZ30, 35, BZ40 up to the BZ53. We offer 23 different models across 4 series, offer an entry-level price points for the price-conscious customer up to our flagship deep lock, non-glare BB40 series behind me, which is great for high light environments because it gets rid of the reflectiveness that you typically see with flat panels. The displays are really just the beginning, the end point of your content. Later on in the tour, you're going to hear about all the different solutions that we put inside the displays. But for now, we'll focus on the product. We go from 32-inch up to our 98-inch flagship over here. If we continue over to my right over here, what we're doing in the show here is we're really talking about solutions and applications. So in this, we're in the corporate area. And here we're talking about basically 3 different conference room solutions, a good, better, best scenario for conferencing with collaboration with some of our alliance partners with sound bars and some tracking with audio. And we have a partner over here, Forte, one of our integrators, who has a Velocity package, basically an all-in-one meeting room, which we're featuring this year with a 110-inch CLED DV-LED by Sony in the center, as well as a nice mount by Peerless around it to a very, very attractive setting. On this side, we got integration with some of our collaboration partners. So again, showing the good, better, best AV control partners. We basically work with all the AV control partners, Crestron, QSys, Extron, et cetera. And one thing I forgot to mention over here, if you look to my left, I think your camera will pick this up, but basically on the right side here, we have the BZ40L, and next to it, the BZ35L. So the BZ40L, again, has that deep black non-glare, so you don't see the reflectiveness of the light, the ambient light maybe coming off of the C-LED or the overhead lighting. So great for those meeting rooms that have windows, if you don't want to basically be showing a mirror. As we move over here further to my right, along the back of the booth, we have our experiential area. So we basically have kind of 2 big solutions we're showing in this area. On the left side is our spatial reality display, which is basically glasses-free 3D type displays, great for modeling. We're showing some interactive, basically, applications here where it's like a touchless control, as you can see this gentleman demonstrating. Again, great for modeling, architecture, any of those sort of applications, healthcare. And on the right side, some esports solutions. Esports has been basically growing very, very large in the country. And besides for the consumer side of esports, obviously we have a lot of the production gear made by Sony that you can capture and broadcast these esports out over typical production broadcast methods. If we continue on down to the right, we are in our education area. So solutions for the education marketplace. Most of it we're showing in here is centered around our cameras, our PTZ line, our pan-tilt zoom cameras. We got the BRC AM7 up in the corner there, our SRG cameras on the other side. So basically a wide range of PTZ cameras that have artificial intelligence built into them that allows you to do tracking. You can track presenters moving around the room without an operator. Paired with some of our analytics, edge boxes, you could do other things like handwriting extraction, great for lecture capture type applications. We also have a few of our projectors featured over here for the classrooms that are still using projectors in the classroom, haven't moved over to flat panel. And then if my videographer turns around and over here, this is our DV LED area, our flagship 4K, this happens to be a 4K size, our CH series 1.2 millimeter pitch in a 4K size, 220 inch. Beautiful, beautiful picture. We basically have two series here. We have a CH series, which is for the very good blacks, high contrast. And we also have a BH series, which has a less reflective coating. Again, good for that higher light lobby type of environment. These are scalable, of course, being DV LED, build it however big you want it. This, again, is a 4K wall. We sell them in 1.2 millimeter as well as 1.5 millimeter. And then on the end, if we move on down to here, and I'll stop here because there's people there, and customers are more important. But we have our Verona series of LED. These are our virtual production LEDs. They're easier to install. They're used for basically backdrops in motion picture production, corporate production, any of that sort of stuff. And when you pair it together with the workflows, the tool sets that are available by our partners, basically you get a very cost-effective production solution without having to build very costly sets. Very popular. They come in 1.5 millimeter and 2.3 millimeter. And one more stop before we get to the center heart of the booth. If we come around to the front of the booth, just at NAB, I believe, we introduced the Capri, which is basically Verona's little sister. It's a more affordable solution, also designed for the virtual production space, 2.5 millimeter. Incidentally, these Verona and Capri CLEDs work with third-party megapixel and Brompton controllers, which are basically industry standard for those virtual production workflows to work with the plates and whatnot. And if we come into the center, we'll conclude here with the Solutions Hub. So this year, we're trying to tell more than just the product. We're trying to really talk about the applications, the full stories. So the Solutions Hub is kind of about the heart of the Bravias, what you could do inside, because it's more than a display. It has a system on chip built in. And if we come, we'll start on this side just because we're here. Basically, if you go shoot the headers across, these are applications that are pre-installed in the Bravias. So we have Pro settings, which is pre-installed, so you can do all sorts of pre-configuration of the display, lockout controls of the outer controls, auto on, auto off, all sorts of different things that you could change to make it more than just a regular display. In the center, we have a multi-display function. Basically, we could do 2x2, 3x3 type video walls. We could also do a meeting room application or a simple signage application. The one on the end is actually talking about some of the control stuff that we have for our CLEDs, which I talked about before, where we can monitor the health of the CLED through a GUI and see heat maps and things like that. If we move into the center, and I'll start with this side because it's behind me, we have our cloud-based device management solutions. So this is about making the user installer experience easier. So we now put QR codes on our boxes. You could set up in online in the cloud the different settings, applications that you want to run on these Bravias, and by basically scanning the QR code, connect to the cloud and have all of that pushed down to the display. Before, you used to have to do that with a remote control or maybe put a USB stick at every display. Now you can just basically turn the display on, plug it in, connect it to an Ethernet, and scan the QR code, and it all drops down. We have a zero-touch provisioning, which again is another way to set up these displays basically with no touch, all in the cloud. And then because, again, we're in the cloud, we have a device monitoring software, so you can see the health of the device. Is it on? Is it off? Turn it on, off, change inputs, get some basic data about usage and stuff sent back to you. And behind us, to make it even more robust, as I mentioned, we have some signage solutions. We have an HTML player that's built in, so we can do simple signage through a USB stick that'll render onto the display and give outputs. We started to develop robust IP controls that we could give to our integrator and CMS and other partners to allow better seamless control between our displays and their systems. And lastly, but definitely not least, we have a very robust online technical resources and user community to disseminate this knowledge and continue to answer and provide feedback and solutions based on voice of customer. And one last solution on the other side here, and so this is a different division within Sony that sells a solution called Atrios, which is basically using advanced analytics to drive different signage type applications. So around our booth, we have about 15 cameras. You could see them up on the top of the area here. And these cameras are able to do things like take heat map of how many people are in a certain area, or even look at the faces of or genders of the people that are nearby a sign. And basically you can change the signage output or the content based on the analytics that the cameras are giving you. So it's a kind of true driven AI solution. Again, we start with the products, but we get into the heart with the software, the brains, the system on chip, and we create these solutions, all based on voice of customer, all based on solving pain points, and basically the story never ends. It's ever growing, ever expanding, and I thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed the virtual visit to the Sony booth at InfoComm 2025.
Hi, I'm Joe Drury, business manager for ProBravia, and I'm going to walk you through the ProBravia lineup. All ProBravias are going to be covered with an advanced replacement warranty, as well as have a system on a chip, but there's some differences, and I'll walk through that as I go through the series. So here's the EZ20 series. This is going to come in sizes 43 through 85 inch. We will offer simple IP as well as Pro Mode. However, the offerings on that are a little bit limited, but it is really kind of the highlight reel of what's supported for those series. As we step up from the 16x7 panel of the EZ20, we're going to step up to the BZ30, which is really where our 24/7 professional displays start. The BZ30 is going to offer 32 inches all the way up through 98 inches. And this is where we get full simple IP as well as Pro Mode support for all of these displays. Both the EZ20 and the BZ30 offer 3-year advanced replacement warranties, but the BZ30 does have a 2-year extended warranty available for purchase. Stepping up from the BZ30 series, we're going to move up to the BZ35 series. This is now going to get us a 550 nit panel, and it's going to double the internal storage from 16 gigabytes that we had on the previous series up to 32 gigabytes. In addition to the advanced replacement warranty, we are currently running a promotion where with registration, you will get a 5-year advanced replacement warranty for these series. These come in 55 through 85 inch. Next, we're going to talk about the BZ40L, which comes with a deep black non-glare panel. This is also 55 through 85 inches with a 48% anti-glare and low reflection panel treatment. In addition to the BZ40L, we have the 98 BZ53L, which gives us really the same deep black non-glare panel treatment that we have on the BZ40L, but this comes in a 98-inch panel. And then the last thing I want to show on the ProBravia wall is really just a recap of the different series and the differentiation that you have in the step-up line logic with those series. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out to your local RAM.
Hey, I'm Jason Metcalf. I'm the business manager for LED products for North America, and we're here at InfoComm 2025 showing off our latest direct view LED product, Crystal LED Capri. You see behind me. Capri is an SMD-based LED product, comes in 2.5 millimeter pitch, and it's meant to complement our line of virtual production products and solutions. It's shown here next to its sister product, the Verona in 2.3 millimeter. And both of these are purpose-built for virtual production, rental and staging, live events. They're meant to be integrated easily with cameras and are part of our fantastic line of Crystal LED products focused on high picture quality. So Capri was announced just last week, a week for InfoComm. It's the first time we're showing it off anywhere, and it'll be arriving here in the US later this year. Thank you very much.
Here we are in the Sony booth in the Education Solutions area, and we are highlighting a couple of features. The first thing we're showing is the REA C1000, which is our AI-based video analytics processor. We're bringing an HDMI input from a 4K camera, processing, and the application that we're running. Now, the box does have 5 possible applications that are individually licensed. We're running the handwriting extraction product in this demo. So with the handwriting extraction, this board is showing you what is currently up on the whiteboard. As I move in front of the board, you can see that there's a digital overlay that puts that writing out in front of me, so the audience can always see what's been written. If I were to turn around and write on the board, the audience didn't see because I was in the way. Now it's been picked up, and if I walk back in front of it, it's now on that overlay. Similarly, if I erase it, the processor removes that from the overlay. We're also highlighting our AI-based auto framing. We're featuring the new version 3.0, which is officially released next Tuesday, June the 17th. One of the demos is the tracking range. This is a new feature. What happens is the camera has detected me because my detection zone was near the podium, and my tracking range is from this corner over to the edge of a Bravia. So as I move, the camera is smoothly following me. If I come forward, if I were to bend down, you can see it really does a good job of keeping that distance from top of head to top of frame. As I said, my tracking range ends right here. Immediately the camera releases me and is now looking for the next face over in the detection zone. Over here, we're highlighting the fact that Zoom can now ingest NDI. So we're taking the NDI feed from this SRG A40, running it in as an NDI feed, and you can see in this corner, that is the Zoom window. Also, we have the Scarhose controller, which is controlling that camera with NDI. And then finally, we're featuring our newest flagship PTZ, the BRC AM7. This has got the upcoming version 2.0 firmware, which adds multi-person framing, face registration, tracking range, and a feature called lead room effect, where if the camera's looking at me and I turn my head, the processing in the camera will open up that space to my side.
Hello, my name is Kiana Pompa, product manager for our Sony professional displays. We are here at InfoComm, where we are showcasing our step-up solutions for meeting room spaces. In our first example, we have our conventional LCD display with our flagship BZ40L display. As a comparison, you can see side by side, our BZ40L series offers an amazing picture quality, but also is very anti-reflective. Now, to give you a sample, we'll play some content back so you can see that effect in real time. As you can see, the color accuracy is still very great, but now we have anti-reflection. So in areas with high ambient light, especially those corporate spaces where you have floor-to-ceiling windows, you are guaranteed to see the content clearly, legibly, and also color accurate. We also have our Pro Bravia display with our Bravia Meeting Free, which is a preloaded application that you can convert any space into a meeting room. And if you plug in your PC, you can automatically change input, and you also can customize the splash screen content, all on board the display with no external boxes needed. We're at InfoComm, where we're showcasing how Sony products are powerful on their own, but with collaboration with our partners, we really bring real-world solutions to life. So today we're showcasing our partnership with Nareva and our Pro Bravia display, as well as our SRG camera line. With the help of Nareva, we are able to do real live input switching of our cameras. So if you have multiple cameras in your meeting room space, with the help of Nareva's HDL10, it will do the switching for us. Paired with our Pro Bravia display to give you amazing picture quality within your conference room. For more information, please visit pro.sony. Here we are showcasing Aurora, Crestron, and Q-SYS. Partnership is at the forefront in our core value, where we know Sony products are great, but with the help of partnerships, we make real-world solutions come to life. We have plugins and drivers for all of these partners so that you can easily control with Aurora, Q-SYS, or Crestron as a plug-and-play solution, no coding necessary, and it's really, really easy. We support control with Bravia, our Crystal LED, our PTZ cameras, and even projectors. We are here at InfoComm showcasing an amazing partnership with Forte, Peerless, AppSpace, and Cisco. So to get some more information, we are going to pass it over to Thomas from Forte to give you the full rundown.
Yeah. Hi, thank you. Thomas Larson, with a solution architect with Forte, and we are showing exactly as she mentioned. This is a collaborative partnership. This is an exclusive solution that we would create for our Velocity solutions. It is built with a Peerless frame and wrapper behind it that is also enclosing all of the equipment. It hides the equipment in the base. We are using this with a Cisco room kit, but we are actually running Microsoft Teams on this system. We are partnering it with Sony and the BH series 1.2 millimeter display. She's showing right now some of where the components are stored, and we're showing app space currently on the screen. The app space is actually a wallpaper that can fly up when we're not using we're not in a Teams call, so we can join a Teams call very, very simply from here. And now we're going to be in a full Teams call. We're still able to share our content within the Teams call, but then when we exit the Teams call, you're able to keep using this real estate for any kind of signage or messaging that you want. The Forte Velocity solution is an exclusive that we work with our clients to build, and we develop the solution, and then when equipment is in stock, we can logistically deliver it within 10 days. So we're excited to be back here with Sony. It's a wonderful partnership for us. We love this Peerless display mount, and we enjoy having a conversation with any of you around any of these type of solutions. Thank you.
Hi everybody, Justin here from InfoComm 2025. I'm happy to present our section over here regarding Mocopi products. So as we know, Mocopi has been around for a number of years, but we're excited to show at the show Mocopi Pro. Mocopi Pro is comprised of these 12 sensors and everything you see here. In addition to that, at the show we're showing our software called Zen Motion Studio. This software right here, you can see an example of two different motions that were captured. One was captured by us prior to the show, and the other motion clip was pulled from the cloud. The beauty of this software is that we have movements available in the cloud that you can import and add to your own motion sequence. One convenient element of this application is that it can seamlessly blend various movements into one seamless clip. So I can show you, if we already saw that these two clips were distinct clips, now with this simple tween function, you'll see that it can easily combine the two clips into one fluid motion. So this is a huge time saver, which means you don't have to spend all the time going frame by frame, moving the limb inch by inch to match the following sequence. The software can take care of it for you. Next, I just want to show quickly how this can look once you output the motion data into another software, such as Unreal. So this is a great example of how the motion data could be utilized in other applications such as Unreal. And that's my body double right there. Once you export your motion data into Unreal, you can then convert it into 3D and have the ability to view it on the spatial reality display. I'd like to next hand it over to Chris, who's going to follow up on the spatial content creation.
Thanks, Justin. Here at InfoComm 2025, we have a few solutions for the Zin product line that we wanted to show you all. So one of the things I want to highlight here is a new solution that we're looking to launch toward the end of the year, and that is Sony's spatial capture solution. This is an incredibly powerful XR tool that we're going to be offering to our customers that allows you to use a Sony 2D camera, so a Sony Alpha camera, that works in conjunction with a cellular phone that runs an app that guides the user on how to take pictures around an object or inside a space that will then turn that into a 3D asset. Here on the screen I have an example. We have a bowl that we're looking at here. This is running on the SRD, so it's a fully 3D object that I can view in 3D as I'm looking at it. And so as I move, I can actually look around the geometry of that bowl, and all of that's been created using just 2D photos. It can be expanded. Here I have the interior of a building, so you can not just be limited to small things like shoes or bowls, but now you can look at the interior of a building that we have here. Here we have an interior of a factory, and so as I'm looking around and as I'm moving and it's tracking my position, you can see all this geometry that's been created using this technology. So it's an incredibly powerful tool that Sony is offering to its customers for content creation and other uses. Here at InfoComm 2025, we have another solution that we want to talk to you about. In the XR space, we have partnered with a company called Ameria, and they're a company out of Germany, and they're doing a very cool gesture-based way of doing control on a display. Here we're actually showing it on the SRD, and as I take my hand and I approach the screen, you can actually see my hand on the screen. It's taking a 3D representation of my hand, and as I'm rotating my hand, you can see my fingers. As I close my hand and open my hand, you can see it moving. And as I move around, I can touch things and interact with them. So I can come down and I can move this slider, I can reach down and I can grab the part, I can move the part around as needed. There's a light switch I can move, and all that's done just by gesture-based technology. But the interesting thing about this is it moves you from your standard touch interface where you're tapping and swiping, which is your only limitation, to now you can actually manipulate your hand on screen. So if the software actually supports it, you can hold your hand in front, and if you close your hand, you can zoom in. If you open your hand, you can zoom out. You're only limited to really your imagination, right? And so any kind of gestures that you make or movements that you can make, you can put that into the software solution that you're working on, and it'll allow you to be able to control your software in that way, creating a very common interface that people are a very intuitive interface that people are used to seeing. If you're interested in the solution from Ameria, please contact your Sony rep and they'll be able to get you connected and you can find out more about it. Here at InfoComm 2025, we have a couple new integrations that we want to talk about with the SRD. So we have our 27-inch ELF SR2, so the SRD for 3D monitor. But what we're showing here is a new integration that we have with PLW ModelWorks. And what they do are digital twins of environments. Here in this video that we're looking at, we're actually looking at a digital twin of Tokyo. And the amazing thing about this is it's fully navigatable. And so I can grab my keyboard and I can press buttons and I can move around the environment just like I would in a video game. I can press buttons and I can actually change to see the geometry. You can see some topographical information. It can switch to night mode and it can go back to normal mode. The map itself is fully accurate and photorealistic, so all the buildings and everything are textured. And with the SRD, it allows you to actually view everything in full 3D, giving you a very unique digital twin experience. You can work with PLA for any type of survey like this, and it can be utilized for a number of different functions for commercial and real estate. And one of the last applications we want to talk to you about the SRD at InfoComm 2025 is our integration that we have with the Blackmagic stereoscopic camera and DaVinci Resolve. If you look at the screen here, we have a full video that's running in 3D. Now, it doesn't take advantage of the same tracking that we do when it's a 3D object, but our screen itself actually natively supports side-by-side video. So as we move over from the screen, we can actually move to the Blackmagic box, and in the Blackmagic box, you can actually see the content is a side-by-side output from it. When that is pumped into the display itself, the screen will turn that into 3D, and then you can view and check your information as needed. Now, this is working with the DaVinci Resolve software that we have running here. And so that software is all running in tandem with the Blackmagic box and the SRD together. So this is showing the workflow if you're in post-production for 3D, and showing you how you could use that if you're in broadcast, if you're in Pro AV, and also shows that you could do things like real-time 3D in certain applications.
Hello, and today we're going to be showing a couple things from InZone lineup. Right over here we have our M9 Mark II monitor. It is a 4K 160 hertz monitor with full array local dimming. And then right next to it we have our H5 headset that can be wired or wireless, and it does have AI noise reduction built into it. Then over here we have our main showstopper, the M10S OLED monitor that is 1440p, 480 hertz with a 0.03 millisecond response time. Now, we did develop this in partnership with our sponsored esports team, Fnatic. So you can see here, between the gameplay, the motion rate, also some of the additions that you have, including going from a 27-inch to a 24.5-inch screen, which a lot of people in the competitive world like to utilize, as well as the FPS Pro Plus picture mode. Now, this monitor is a great option both at home or in an esports arena setting. The other great thing about it is its build quality, which we did get some great suggestions over. So you can see here, I'm not going to move it on you right now, but we can turn it a full rotation round, 360. So that way you can actually get behind the screen to rewire it very effectively. That way, if say you have an esports setup in an arena or a school or wherever, or if you're at home or in an office, you can easily just turn the screen around and you'll be able to easily wire management without having to get behind and get frustrated with that. Then right here we have our H9 headphones. Those headphones are active noise cancellation. They sound phenomenal, and they have the ability to do dual input. So what that means is you can be connected to either your PC or PS5, and you can connect via Bluetooth to a phone or tablet or other Bluetooth option, and you'll be able to actually take calls and answer them and talk without turning off your game audio, which is an awesome experience. Then additionally, we don't have them on display here, but I do have them in my hand. We are also covering the InZone buds. What you can see here, they're very sleek looking, they sound phenomenal, and they do have active noise cancellation as well as AI noise reduction. And yeah, between that, this area has been a huge hit for a lot of gamers and people involved in esports.
Thanks for joining us. We are showcasing here at InfoComm in our Tech Solutions Hub. So we're going to do a deep dive of all 4 sections in this area, starting with our Pro settings. This is nothing new within our Pro Bravia display, but it is a little secret. This is really geared towards integrators or installers or even end users that want to lock down your display. This functionality is a hidden menu. Once you access Pro settings mode, it will take you into custom settings where you can disable or enable certain functions, like disabling the IR remote, disabling the button, maybe making it completely tamper-proof, specifying what applications can run on board. Maybe every time you start up the display, it will run to digital signage. You can even disable HDMI inputs. All of this is done on board the Pro Bravia display with the help of our Android operating system. As we move down, you'll see how we have the ability to run applications on board. There's a multitude of different applications that you can access through the Pro Settings menu, starting with Bravia Meeting Free. This basically takes over your whole operating system that gives you a custom meeting room menu. So to give you an example, you'll see Sony Corporation. This is a meeting room name. All of this is customizable and configurable. It also enables Wake on Signal, where it can automatically input switch and then turn off if you disconnect. And then you'll see this is how easy it is to change the functions. All of this, again, completely customizable. And you can upload your own images, videos, or even an HTML website for the background image. The next solution that we have is Bravia Signage Free. Again, this is built in. All you need is a USB stick. Throughout our booth, we have a showcase of all of our compatibility with software partners where you're sending content over the cloud. But if you do have a very simple 1 to 2 display installation, you can do digital signage over a USB stick. You'll add the content to your USB. It supports HTML, videos, images, even background music. You can create custom playlists and schedule that back at any time. And the last one we're showcasing here is our multi-display settings. Now, multi-display settings is also on board the Bravia. Once you enable it, all you need is a source device, HDMI splitter, and some cables to send the content over. I'll give you a live view of what that settings menu is. We can support up to a 5x5 tile. And what the app does is it automatically adjusts for the bezel size. So for example, if it's a 2x2, it'll split the image as you see here. And once you click apply, it'll crop that specific area. So you'll see it'll only grab the area we specified. So if you had a 2x2 installation, it splits it for you and accounts for the bezel size. As we move over, we have our Crystal LED controller updates. So this is a controller that runs our Crystal LED right behind us. We made a couple of updates to this controller. Now we have a gap correction tool with the help of an alpha camera and a PC. What we could do is electronically adjust every single module to ensure that your picture is a completely seamless canvas. We also have cabinet temperature, so you can analyze the data in real time. Once your LED display is up and running, you can see the full telemetry straight from the controller. All of these solutions will help you address any issues before they actually occur. So let's go ahead and go to the next area of the Solutions Hub. And the next area, this is our Tech Solutions Hub, where we're showcasing creator and developer solutions. With the help of a Bravia Knowledge Center, we have a list of all of our APIs. So if you want to create your own custom HTML software or send control to our displays as well, we have them all documented in the Bravia Knowledge Center. So we do have a couple of examples over here. In this area, what we're showcasing is our control APIs. We actually have control APIs for Pro Bravia displays, PTZ cameras, our Crystal LED, and our projectors. All of these are documented. They're open source. So if you want to start developing and creating your own control application, you can. And on this side, we have an example of the onboard HTML player. So again, the Bravia is the player, so you can point it to your website, and it will play with no external boxes needed, no HDMI connections, and it'll work live in real time. In the next section of our Tech Solutions Hub, we're going to look at integrator tool sets. This solution starts at the warehouse level. So what we're doing is saving you time at install. So we have a handy dandy scanner tool. It's actually web-based, so all you have to do is have access to a web browser. And this will allow us to scan the device into our cloud. So really quickly, I'll show you how it looks like here. Super easy, confirm. And you can just keep going. You can scan as many units as you'd like. And once you scan, they basically live here onto your platform. You'll see a full list of all of the MAC addresses that we've scanned. And here is where we create a device profile. In the device profile, you can make any customizations. So because earlier you saw we have pro settings, we're very feature rich, we can disable or enable, install applications. Well, that does take a couple of minutes for configuration. What we could do is pre-configure using a device profile here. So you can upload the applications, you can enable or disable basic settings, configure your pro settings. Once you're happy with that, you save that profile into the device provisioning tool, and you can assign it to the MAC address that you just scanned in. When the device is unpacked and it's ready to deliver on site, Once you have a wired or wireless connection, a QR code populates that says this is part of your Sony device management platform to initiate zero-touch provisioning. Go ahead and type in this 6-digit code or scan the QR code. So if we scan the QR code like you see here, we have kind of a mock-up installation. The provisioning process begins, and that profile that you just configured will start implementing onto the display itself. This provisioning process takes around 10 minutes, and once it's online, it'll take you home. You skip all of the initial startup questions. And then if you installed an application, it can also auto-launch based on that profile, and then you're running digital signage content. So to reiterate, this is a completely free tool that is accessible to our integrators now. All you have to do is create an account. But what we do to take it to the next step is that after post-provisioning, if you want control, monitoring, and accessibility to your device, you can upgrade to our device monitoring platform. Now that is a paid solution, it's license-based, and you pay per display. So once your device is done provisioning, it could live here. And under all devices, you'll see a full list of all of the devices here in our booth that are online. So if we go ahead and select one of these units, it'll give you all of the telemetry information, the most recent screenshot. You can update the firmware here, adjust settings, lock this down in kiosk mode, adjust for volume. You can even go into troubleshooting and write notes, get the system logs, and do bulk actions. If the display is offline, we can also set up alert rules that will email you if something happens, if the display goes offline. So this dashboard is really great for telemetry and device health as well. So again, free version is our device provisioning tool, and our paid version is our device monitoring platform. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next Tech Solutions Hub, right over here. We made it to our last section in the Tech Solutions Hub, where we are showcasing Atrios. Basically, it's a solution with our intelligent vision sensor built into our PoE-powered small form factor camera. This solution is provided by the Sony Semiconductor Group, and this sensor is built into these small little cameras that we have installed on top. We have actually 12 of these cameras installed throughout our whole booth that is grabbing live data. And I think the biggest and most important thing to say here is that the data in the image sensor, of course, is capturing images, but we don't send any of this data for security and privacy concerns. We make sure that none of this data is transferred over. All of the analytics gets processed on the camera directly, and the metadata gets sent to our server. So what are we analyzing? We can see here we have people count, engagement rate, and demographics. All of this data gets combined into an easy dashboard for insights. So in the booth, we're practicing what we preach. All of those 12 cameras installed throughout the booth is grabbing live data of your engagement. So how long you stared at the content and full demographics. So in the hopes for in the future, next InfoComm, we can improve all of our areas. So how does this apply to the real world? In the AV space, what we're doing here is a sample solution with digital signage. So as you can see here, the camera is mounted on top and the signage is showcasing. So we have a special of $9.99 sushi, for example. So you could say here is, how long did I stare at the screen? And we can take analytics of if I ordered the special based on the content that I just saw here. So you can adjust as you see from the analytics. You can adjust that special, or maybe you can change your content. At the end of the day, all of this is for your return on investment. So for more information on Atrios or anything you saw on the Tech Solutions Hub, please visit pro.sony.
All right, welcome to InfoComm 2025 here at the Sony booth. My name is Terrence Boyd. I am the partner manager for our alliance and technology partners here in the United States and for Canada. And I'm just going to give you a kind of a brief overview of the different partners that we have featured here in the booth today. Currently here, I'm standing in front of our showcase wall. In the showcase wall, we're featuring our partnership with Spectrio. Here with Spectrio, we're talking about retail media networks, and these are just some of the examples and some of the applications that we work with some of our partners. In this particular case, we're helping our end users to basically deliver solutions that help monetize their screens. And all throughout the booth, we also have other types of partnerships that we have in the booth, right? So we're also talking about CMS partners and our digital signage ecosystem. We have AV control partners, and we also have some of our mount and hardware partners represented in the booth as well as some of our UC and collaboration type partners. Now, the great thing about our partnerships is we partner with a very wide array of ecosystem partners, and part of the reason for that is because we want to be able to help our end users tell a story. That's what's most important to them, is the storytelling aspect. And that storytelling oftentimes requires an ability to help them with turnkey solutions that are going to allow them to speak in their voice. Because that's the most important story to tell when it comes to our customers and our end users, as well as the partners we work with. And that's why we work with so many different partners. As a matter of fact, we have over 120 partners on our partner website, and that partner ecosystem, we're in constant process of expanding. 20 of those are very strong alliance partners that we work with at a much deeper level of integration and collaboration with. So every day we're working to expand this ecosystem of partnerships that we have at Sony and with all the different technology partners that we have. With that, if you'd like to learn any more information about our alliance and technology partnerships, you can go to pro.sony.
Hi, Rich Ventura, the Vice President for Sony Professional Display Solutions of America, and we are on the final day of InfoComm. It's been an amazing day of technology and talking about experiences. Everything that we did this week was all about talking about storytelling, talking about solutioning, looking at the different vertical markets, applications, all of our partners, multiple different partners in this booth, multiple different Sony divisions in this booth. And once again, it's all about connected experiences. And I'm standing actually in front of one of the most amazing parts of our booth, and this is the Sony Bravia wall. And you can see everything about Bravia in here, from our entry-level portfolio in the EZ20 all the way up to our BZ53L, deep black non-glare technologies, all the different things that we're doing. And guess what? Integrations with all of our technology partners. What's been exciting and really just amazing about this week and all the technology we've been talking about is really about connected experiences, storytelling. Whether we are looking in our collaboration space and all the solutioning that we've done in there, whether it's in our education space and looking at all the solutions we have there, even our looking in some fun areas with our Zin organization and even our esports organization. Everything's about connected experiences. And of course, you got to talk about the big guy, the C-LED product, and just showing some amazing products. In fact, if you notice, we introduced some new products recently with Capri, focusing in the virtual production space. Everything we talked about, and I keep saying it over and over again, storytelling is all around solutions. But let's talk a little bit about the technology. Some of the technology we've shown this week with our relationships within Sony with Atrios, looking around analytics, tracking, being able to do gender identification, being able to trigger content. Then you start looking at other technologies within Sony. You look at our APIs, you look at our zero-touch provisioning, our device management platform, different ways to work better with Sony, allowing you to register our products quicker and easier through applications, using the technology we've put, or the solutions we've put on our boxes to allow you for faster gathering of information and deployment. Everything was around building the right experience, whether it's the transactional experience, whether it's the deployment experience, or even the usage experience. One of the things that probably stuck out to me the most this week, and you probably heard it a lot from our team, is really just the amazing vibe in the booth. The flow, everything was around how do we get you through the storytelling, through the technology, so you could spend a lot of time experiencing Sony, experiencing our partners. And, you know, I'm not shy about saying this, I think we probably had the best booth in the entire show. It was all just an amazing, amazing, amazing opportunity for everyone to spend time with all of us. Those who missed out this year, we hate not having you here. We look forward to seeing you in Vegas, obviously, in the future. But this is really your show. This is your opportunity to spend time with Sony to learn more about how we can build better experiences with you, how you can deliver and develop more and better experiences for your customers. And guess what? Sell and deploy more Sony. Thank you.
Thank you for joining our tour of the Sony's InfoComm booth. We hope you enjoyed exploring our innovative showcase. We appreciate all our presenters for sharing their expertise. Any questions from today's webinar will be directed to the appropriate Sony representative. Please join us on July 15th, our next Tech Tuesday, where we discuss the latest SRG firmware 3.0 update. We value your continued interest in Sony professional display solutions and wish you all a wonderful day. Thank you.